Hey everybody, it's Mitch, and welcome to my next live stream. Hope everybody's doing well. Um, it's been a day for me. Was trying to relax before the stream, but that didn't end up working very well, which kind of sucks. But you know what it is? Sometimes things happen, and boy, has it been a day. Anywho, hope everyone is well out there. Doing more live streams because we hit 2,500 subscribers. Um, so yeah, this is my way of thanking you guys for helping me hit that milestone. Like, it's a really big deal. Like, yeah, it genuinely is. So yeah, this is again a chance for you guys to hang out, chat, all that good fun stuff. So yeah, didn't have as much time. Uh, uh, Matthew Senis, what's up? How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, we're just here chatting, talking D&D probably, and yeah, it's just kind of a Q&A, hangout, live stream kind of thing. Same with all the others, no real plan. So if you got any questions, feel free to let me know. This is for you guys to like kind of, direct the live stream and where it goes. That's kind of the basic plan is you guys give questions and I'll respond in chat and all that fun stuff. So yeah, I've gotten some progress on a few things. I played Pal World for a few days now, and I built up a decent base. Nice. I haven't played Pal World. I've heard good things though. But I need pure quartz. That's cool. What's up, J-Not? Wasabi. Nice. What's up, man? Hope you're doing well, J-Not. Yeah, I haven't played Pal World. I'm a big Pokemon fan, and it does seem like a fun game. Like, yeah, I like a lot of games that are kind of similar to it. Like, I like Stardew Valley and those kind of games. So Pal World does seem fun. I just haven't played it. Yeah, I never jumped on that chain. No reason why I haven't. Just haven't. Thinking of doing some Baldur's Gate 3 at some point. Probably in a week if I do it. That's kind of what I was thinking. Because we only have a little bit more of these live streams here. So I might move them over to Twitch and start doing some Baldur's Gate 3 once these are done. So yeah, since Monday's our last one of these, next Wednesday, I'm thinking I might do Baldur's Gate 3 then. Anyone else experiencing the live chat bug where it doesn't show new messages unless I refresh the live chat? I don't know. I haven't seen it. I don't know. Not sure. Yeah, restarted BG3. Nice. Yeah, I'm thinking of playing it and doing some. I'm thinking of doing like because I've played through it like twice now already. So I'm thinking of going through and doing just like a chaos run where I just like play complete random. Everything, like all my choices will be made randomly. Characters are all random. I don't know. Seems like it might be fun. Maybe I'll do a run where like I have chats tell me what to do and stuff. That could also be fun. Did you play Baldur's Gate 1 or 2? I played 1, I think, a little bit, but I never got that far. Mostly because I didn't own the game. My friend had it, so I wasn't able to get as much time into it as I really would have liked. I really enjoyed it, and I wish I could have played more, but I didn't really have the option. I was a kid. This was way back when I was just a kid. I didn't have the kind of access to computers that I would like to have had, and I didn't own the game. But my family didn't have that great of a computer, so yeah, it wasn't really an option for me. I played it. I got to I think there was some sort of mine that I got to, and then I was like, I don't know. I got stuck, and also one, I was a kid. I got stuck. I didn't really know what was going. Plus, I didn't have as much time, so I don't know. I suspect I'd probably figure it out if I picked it up and tried playing it now. But yeah, haven't played it in a long time and don't really remember it too well. Um, I was like one chapter away from finishing the game of Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition, but I dropped the game. Dang, that sucks. I did not get nearly as far. Like I say, my friend owned it, not me, so I wasn't able to get nearly as far as I would have liked. I was loving it though. This was even before I started playing D&D, and yeah, it was a great game. Uh, Not yet. You should go back to Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. I might at some point, but I don't have the game, so that would be a little bit of a trick. Because, like I said, I don't own the games, and I don't know how much they are. That's actually a good question. I have Steam. They may or may not be on Steam. I'm opening Steam now. Apparently, it has to update. Because I'm curious how much it would cost. Don't really have much really of anything of a budget, but so that's a bit of an issue, but you know, it is what it is. Let's see. Sorry, just trying to figure this out. Games, probably search. I just don't use this as often. Also, trying to spell Baldur's Gate is a pain. I never know where to put that U. To be real. Three, Baldur's Gate 2. Enhanced Edition, $20. Dark Alliance. So I'm seeing a few of them there. Wow. Fantasy Grounds, Baldur's Gate, Portrait Pack. Okay, I'm like, wow, that looks cheap. But it's like, oh, that's just a Portrait Pack. That's not the actual game. Enhanced Edition for 2 is what, $10? I'm not even sure which ones are like the actual games and stuff. I'd have to like dig in a little bit to see what the heck I'm even buying on some of these. But yeah, you should go back to 1 and 2. Now it froze. What froze? See this? See what? I have no idea what you're talking about, J-Not. What do you mean it froze? And see, I genuinely don't know what you mean. Yeah, it looks like it's like Enhanced Edition's $20. I don't know what Enhanced Edition means. Whether that's like 1 and 2 or what exactly. Yeah, I have no idea. I'd have to look into like what these different things are and like which one is. I don't know which one's the game of that. My screen in front's gotcha. Click on the top chat in the top left and select live chat if the chat window freezes for you. Oh, okay, fair enough. For me, I just have a chat window that's. It was the necessary commercials that popped up. Fair enough. I do have ads on. I could turn them off. Well, I can't at this point, but I don't think. But I mostly have them on just because I don't know. I could definitely use the money, so that's a big part of it. Like I'm not some rich YouTuber. Like I literally was down at the welfare office earlier today. So yeah, that's a fun thing. But you know, if I was some big time YouTuber making millions, yeah, I probably wouldn't have ads on because, yeah, but I'm not in that financial situation. Not that I make much without it, but yeah, no problems. Do ads. Appreciate that. But yeah, that's why I keep ads on is, yeah, I could have like an option of how frequent. I just keep it in the medium. I could drop it to low or something, but I love capitalism. Yeah, same. I am a fan of capitalism, although at the same time, not the biggest fan of people doing. I'm not the biggest fan of like exorbitant shows of wealth because, like, I don't know. I'm not. I don't know. Needless buying like stuff for no reason. I don't know. That just rubs me the wrong way personally. But people driving fancy cars and eating like, you know, freaking gold-plated steak. It's like, why? Why? There's no nutritional value in that. It doesn't enhance the taste. Like, why? That's just me though. That just seems like super wasteful in my opinion. But it is what it is. Um, Partially because I'm nowhere near that position, and yeah, even when I was in a better spot financially, I still was never a fan of like fancy plate, all that fancy schmancy stuff. I don't know, just me. Nigerians think video games, computers, and TTRPGs are wasteful in perspective. I mean, that's true to some extent, yeah. I mean, I suspect that would be something that a lot of Nigerians would think. Although, maybe not all Nigerians. I did have a friend who was from Nigeria. He in person, like, I met him at college, and yeah, but he was pretty rich for a Nigerian, from what I understand. So, yeah. But to each their own. I always gotta remember to freaking set my do not disturb on freaking Discord so I don't get notifications while I'm doing this. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, we're just hanging out, talking D&D. Yeah, I am thinking of doing some Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate 3 is. What the heck just happened? Did I just have a power blip? We still live? My AC went out. That was weird. I don't know what just happened, but that was weird. Yeah, I think we're still good. What class do you want to play on Baldur's Gate 3? I'm not sure. I think if I do a run, I'm going to use this. This nice little D12, and I'm gonna use that to figure out what class that I take each level in. So I'm gonna do a complete chaos run. Probably be extremely multi-classed. Yeah. Although I do think I am going to not go too crazy with it, and instead of randomly rolling class every level, I'll flip a coin every level to see if I multi-class, well, to see if I add a class or stick with just the classes I have, which will still make me pretty multi-class, but less so. So, yeah. Tomorrow I will cast aspects of the wolf to turn my character familiar and companion into 3 wolves. Nice. We should be able to hunt some. Nice. Sounds cool. Yeah. Sounds like you got a plan. I just saw commercials. Yeah, that does happen. You'll see them both just showing up from the live stream and over there on my TV. That one will show some commercials too because I do not have YouTube Premium. So yeah, the audio's gone. Really? It looks like it's showing that I have audio. Is my audio actually gone? Seriously? I don't think it is. Let me double check. If I can find my stuff. No, the audio's fine. What are you talking about? I just checked and like it's playing. I don't know why you're not hearing it, Sven, but yeah, I think it's showing on the bar there. Plus, I literally just opened up my live stream on my phone, and there was audio. So, yeah, I don't know what the issue you're having there is. I don't know if you muted or what, but I do have audio. No, what do you mean no? I am so confused there because I accidentally turned audio off. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Because I'm like, I don't think it's gone. I I was a little worried because like I did have a weird blip a second ago, but like I don't know what happened there. I was just checking like my AC there to see if like it was off, but it seems like it's working. So yeah, I don't know what happened, but anywho, um, yeah, BG3 is probably what I'll probably start streaming, um, mostly because I don't know what else I can do that would be like that would be close to D&D 3.5. Like I don't know, like other than like actually running a tabletop game, which would be a little bit of work trying to set things up. Although I'm not against it, it is something I do want to do. But aside from running a game and like with people that are also going to be live with their cameras and mics and all that stuff. Um, yeah, aside from doing that, doing like my own little small time Critical Role thing, uh, you can see comments. I can see the messages. I can't see comments at the moment. I don't think you. I'm not even sure if you can leave comments at the moment. If you can, I'm not sure where they'd be. Could I see them? I mean, if they are somewhere, could I see them somewhere? Yeah, I'm sure they're somewhere, but uh, yeah, I don't know like where they would pop up. Like they're not popping up in my little feed here. Hi, you European baddies. Uh, uh, hi, Sven. Hi. Uh, or you European baddies. Uh, Apparently, a DVD of Pokemon Diamond and Pearl released with old designs of Pokemon like Stunky. Interesting. That's kind of cool. Huh. I hadn't heard about that, but that's cool. I'm a big Pokemon fan. So, yeah, that is something that is definitely interesting to me. But I haven't heard too much about that. To be fair, most of the stuff I've been watching lately on YouTube has been on that whole crazy bricks and minifigs scandal with Reckless Ben. That I have been following pretty religiously for the last couple months. So that's been like half of my news feed for the last little while. But aside from that, just working on the channel, watch anime. Just doing stuff to doing regular life stuff. Like yeah. I don't know if any of you guys follow that, but yeah, that whole thing's absolutely insane. Yeah, I was actually just watching some Spy X Family before the stream. I was hoping to finish the episode, but then Hulu screwed up and just would not let me finish the episode for some reason. I don't know what happened, but I kept trying to get it to finish. It wouldn't let me. Ended up calling support. They were twiddling their thumbs. I tried to like put in a complaint, but they just, I don't know. I don't know what the guy's deal was, but he just would not like let me get a hold of anyone or leave a message or anything. So I'm like, all right, well, I gotta go. So I got this live stream I gotta do. So I ended up just hanging up on him because it's just wasting my time. Yeah, so that was a fun day. Just trying to relax before stream, only to have technology just screw up, and I hate it when that happens. I really hate when technology doesn't do what it's supposed to do, because it's just supposed to work, and when it doesn't, that just drives me nuts. Because it's like, yeah, Stuntank is my favorite Pokemon. Nice, that's cool, man. Mine would be Mischievous. I have a Mischievous over there. I could bring it up. I have a Gengar right here. So It's missing a leg, but I've had that thing since like late '99. Yeah, so I've had this. Yeah, since just I think I got it like a month or two before the Y2K. So I've had it for a while. Um, 3 Jaguars again. There's Jaguars again in Arizona. What? It's kind of like we have wolves here in Denmark, but they are, of course, more dangerous to humans. What? Jaguars in Arizona? But you're in I am so confused. It's kind of like they have. Well, I mean, there's wolves everywhere. Like, let's be real. There's wolves almost everywhere in the world, and that's probably largely our fault because, yeah, dogs, like they're basically the same species. The only difference is one's domesticated and has been for a really long time. Um, yeah. But yeah, wolves they're basically just wild dogs, like really wild dogs. Um, yeah, uh, but yeah, uh, I don't know. That's crazy. Jaguars? That doesn't sound right at all. Because Jaguars are from. I mean, they're from like the Amazon rainforest. I'm pretty sure. I think they're the Amazon. I don't think they're an African cat because I know there's like some in Africa and there's like some in South America and like in the Amazon specifically. But I think jaguars are the Amazonian ones, which is geographically somewhat close to Arizona, but like not really. Like I could see like a jaguar could run from there theoretically, but like wolves were gone from Denmark for many years. Yeah, they were gone from a lot of places for a long time. Um, but yeah, Denmark's it's an interesting one because you guys are like mainland Europe. Um, yeah, and you're not like all the other Scandinavian countries, which are across the Black Sea. I mean, granted, there is a land bridge. You just got to go through Russia. But yeah, that's a whole thing. But yeah, I think Denmark is kind of the one that colonized the other Scandinavian countries. It's kind of why it's a thing, from what I understand. Yeah. Oh, you Viking guys. Uh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah. So Sven and uh, jaguars were native to Arizona, but extinct for years. Really? Arizona? You sure? Arizona's like, I've been to Arizona. I have family in Arizona. There's not much that's like from Arizona. It's like, uh, yeah, it's got scorpions and it's got cacti and it's got, yeah, it got a whole lot of life in general. A large land mammal like a jaguar, I don't see how that'd be surviving there. I really don't. It's pretty inhospitable place for the most part. Uh, yeah, like I've been to Arizona. It's hot and it's desert, and it's really just not that conducive to life. That's great. I don't know. That sounds insane to me because I've been there. That is not like Arizona is not very far from. It's not that far from where I'm at, and like I said, I've got family there. I've been there many times. The fact that a jaguar would be from there sounds crazy to me. That seems more like Brazil and the Amazonian rainforest, which is all of Central America away. That'd be like saying there's lions in Denmark. Just about, well, maybe not quite as much, but yeah, because Africa it's kind of close-ish to Denmark. You just kind of got to go through like Saudi Arabia and the Middle East, and I don't know, it's probably similar-ish kind of journey that you'd have to go to get from, Egypt to Denmark, as you would to get from Brazil to Arizona. Yeah, pretty similar. Cats are from deserts. They are. The house cat specifically from Egypt. It was actually, it's believed that it was actually domesticated only like 4,000 years ago, because some Egyptian pharaoh wanted a bunch of cat mummies. So they domesticated the cat in order to just breed a bunch of like these wild cats in order to get a bunch of mummies. And in the process, they ended up domesticating them because they needed to breed and mummify like thousands of them. The main evidence is apparently a few hundred years back, they found these like thousands and like tens or hundreds of thousands of freaking cat skeletons, and they ended up, I think, selling them all to England to use as fertilizer or something, because England was really needing fertilizer. So that's like a thing that happened. But yeah, that event of all those cat mummies, quite possibly where the house cat was domesticated, and not that long ago. They had other domesticated cats before that, but they weren't like fully domesticated. Yeah, so, but like the cat that we know was domesticated in Egypt like 4,000 years ago, went to Europe via the Romans. Like when Alexander the Great conquered Egypt, he brought cats back to Europe with him, and then not too long later, guys like Marco Polo, they started the Silk Road, and that's how cats got to Asia. Was from Europe, and before that from Egypt via the Romans, like Alexander the Great. So yeah, fun stuff. The modern house cat is pretty newly domesticated, and it was all done like super rapidly, likely on the whim of some pharaoh who just wanted a bunch of cat mummies. It is what it is. So yeah, which kind of makes sense. Cats were like, I can see why pharaoh would do something like that. Yeah. True story. A jaguar was spotted in Arizona, and later two more. Interesting. Huh. News to me. Yeah. Almost certainly came from a zoo, would be my guess. Like, there's no way it was just like they've been living out in the wild there. That's just insane. And it most likely was some zoo escape or something, because I don't know. It's just such a desert. I mean, like, there are places where theoretically they could have hung out, and it's not like we're searching that hard. Like, we're not searching around Arizona that much. It's a desert. Like, for the most part, we just kind of let it be, because it's not very conducive to life. So, I mean, I guess maybe. But yeah, you're going to see them way more in Brazil, in the Amazon. Because, yeah, that's where they're basically from nowadays. Yeah, because they don't do well in desert. Yeah. Like, there are wild cats and, like, dogs and stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, like, coyotes, that's a thing. I think that's a dog, but yeah, the coyote, that's a thing that's around here. I haven't seen one personally, but I know that there are wild coyotes. Like, if you go out into the wild, and even if you're just like wandering on the outskirts of town, there's a chance you might run into something, but not super likely. I've heard them in the distance, but never seen one. Kind of creepy when you hear them in the distance, not gonna lie. But no, not so much creepy, more like a little bit scary. It's like, dang, okay, some coyotes in the howling in the distance. Don't want to run into that. I mean, they're not that scary of animals, but you don't want to mess with them. You don't want to take them lightly. They're probably about as dangerous as like, a vicious lab, like a lab, you know, like a Labrador Retriever. If you like a Labrador Retriever, but not like gentle like most labs are, that's probably about the same danger as a coyote. Not too crazy, but you don't want to mess with that crap. It's a wild animal. So yeah, fun stuff. Not too much crazy stuff here. Never been to Europe, so I'm not super familiar with the wildlife there. But from what I remember from history, there ain't a whole lot of wildlife that's particularly dangerous in Europe. Pretty sure Europeans kind of wiped out most dangerous stuff out of Europe like a long time ago. Like I think there's some wolves here and there, and you know, uh, some wild bulls, but I think that's about as dangerous as it gets in Europe, um, which isn't surprising. All those thousands of years, Europeans were fighting with guns and swords, and just involved in just bloody wars in that relatively small piece of land that is Europe. Yeah, that definitely tracks why there wouldn't be a lot of dangerous animals. It's yeah, and the humans there are pretty vicious, and like the humans in Europe historically very vicious. I mean, that's just look at D&D. Like it's literally based off of freaking Europeans. And yeah, I'm American, but my ancestors were freaking European back in those times. My ancestors haven't been here in the U.S. that long. So, when we're like in terms of like recent times, yeah, American, but it's a white guy. Like, if we're talking the Middle Ages, yeah, I'm just as European as everyone else when it comes to like, the Middle Ages. My ancestors were there just the same as anyone else from Europe. But yeah, today no. Wild hogs might be kind of dangerous in Germany. Oh yeah, wild hogs too. Those are actually very dangerous, even more so. They're actually really bad in the U.S. and they're invasive in the U.S. too, which is an issue. Which is why in like Texas, they're literally like they're working on trying to extinct wild hogs in Texas because yeah, they're an invasive species here. In Europe, yeah, we don't want to extinct them there. We do want to let wild hogs kind of roam to some extent, but yeah, we here in the U.S., yeah, we need to get rid of those. But you are right that wild hogs are actually pretty dangerous. Um, there are pet skunks in the U.S. There are, but I mean, it's a native species, so like, I think it's native. So I guess it's not too big of a deal. Um, yeah. The only downside that I know, like skunks stink. I mean, I know they don't normally stink. I know they only do that like as a defense mechanism, but oh boy, can skunks stink when they get threatened. Have I ever seen it directly? No, but I have been driven down the side of the road when I've just been like, oh, dang it, there's a skunk. You know, there have definitely been skunk on the road instances where I've smelled it that way. Likely a skunk just got ran over or something and just kind of stunk up the whole highway for like hours. So all the cars driving past for like the next day or two had to smell it. That's a thing. I haven't had that in a while, but that is a memory that I remember from as a kid. That we used to have that happen fairly regularly. That was like every time we went on a long trip, it's like, dang it, dead skunk on the road. Yeah, you can smell that, man. He's bad. He's bad. Yeah, I don't know. The U.S. has some pretty dangerous stuff though, like bears, black bears, brown bears. Those are some pretty nasty things. Black bears, not so much. I mean, don't mess with a black bear unarmed. That thing will mess you up. But, if you got a gun, you'll probably be okay against the black bear. They're not too terribly tough. Unlike a brown bear, grizzly, Yeah, even if you got a gun, you don't mess with it. You do not mess with the grizzly unless you got like a powerful gun. Or if you just got some 9 mil, the standard gun that we use to kill other people. Nah, you don't do that. You don't not use that on the grizzly. That isn't likely just gonna annoy it. Like shooting a grizzly with a 9 mil is about the equivalent of shooting a person with a BB gun. Nah, you're really gonna want something tougher if you're going after. If you got a grizzly on you, you're gonna want like a shotgun with a slug. That'll do something to a grizzly, but nah, you're gonna need some real power if you want to actually stand a chance against a grizzly. Those things are vicious. Although most of the time you can just leave them alone, unless they're like hungry or like they're threatened. Most of the time, grizzlies aren't going to attack you. They aren't that efficient in terms that they aren't very efficient. Like they don't use energy very efficiently. So yeah, that is the thing about grizzlies. Is they generally won't attack you because it's just not worth it to them most of the time, and you just kind of got to count on that for grizzlies. And I mean, you can take this stuff for like D&D stuff too. Like, it's good stuff to know for like survivalist stuff in D&D if you're ever running a wilderness campaign, which is kind of a cool idea. Cats and snakes are special. Cats are too fast for snakes. They are. So snakes are a very interesting one because snakes actually have been like snakes and humans are like the snakes and great apes, which humans are part of, have been like at war with each other for eons. Like we evolved alongside each other, and it's actually thought that certain traits like the spitting cobra, the fact that it's able to spit its venom was likely done as a defense against primates, like especially humans and early hominids, because the ability to spit your venom isn't really that helpful against most things in nature, but against a monkey with a stick, being able to spit your venom is pretty useful now all of a sudden. And monkeys with sticks, there's not many of those out there. Chimps are barely at the stage of technology where they're able to use sticks as weapons against like snakes and stuff, like barely. Humans, of course, are well past that technologically speaking, but no other animal can really like use a stick as a weapon. Gorillas, I mean, they can, but they don't really fully understand it. It's mostly just chimps that like fully grasp the concept of stick as a tool and as a weapon, and like yeah, well, and of course humans are definitely fully grasp that concept, and have taken it to extreme levels of, hey, let's make the internet and live streaming and the A-bomb and all sorts of other crazy stuff that humans have made. We've kind of taken nature. We've kind of gone way farther than other things in nature. In D&D, cats are not that usable because they deal enough damage. Are you crazy? Cats are kind of insane for doing too much damage in D&D. Like a cat can one-shot a human. Like if you take your average human and your average cat in D&D, the cat's gonna win like 9 times out of 10, because your average human in D&D is a level 1 commoner, and yeah, not exactly the strongest thing out there. And yeah, a cat could easily take out a level 1 commoner, which yeah, and same with like wizards and sorcerers at level 1. Once you start leveling up a bit, that changes, and obviously wizards and sorcerers, if they get the jump on a cat, are going to win every time, but they aren't really, honestly, they're not likely to get the jump on a cat. Like initiative wise, like honestly, yeah, one-on-one, a wizard a level 1 wizard versus a level 1 versus just a cat, I'm throwing my money on the cat in a one-on-one fight, because the cat's probably going to win initiative because they're highly dexterous and have good initiatives, and they do enough damage to one-shot the wizard. Yeah, the wizard could easily obliterate the cat with a magic missile, but there's a good chance they're not going to get that opportunity. So my money's on the cat. Cat goes first, kills the wizard before the wizard can do anything. Yeah, cats are crazy. Honestly, I think they need nerfed in terms of damage, at least a little bit. And the way I would nerf them is I would change their damage to a D3 minus strength, or plus strength, but with their negative strength, it'd be a minus. And then also just give them a special bonus of 1d6 sneak attack. So they still can do damage, but like they need to get the jump in order to do that. They have 2 hit points and deal 1d4 minus 3. No, cats do way more than that. Oh, by the way, snakes, as we were talking before, cats are extremely good against snakes, because snakes, they rely heavily on the fact that they have faster reflexes than almost any other animal out there. Cats being the exception to that, which is why, yeah, cats just whoop snakes. Like snakes are like, they get ready to jump at cats, so just, snakes like, whereas humans, we literally can't do that. The speed that a cat can swipe at, and same with like a snake can jump at, they're faster than human reaction speed. We're literally aren't able to process like that. Our brains can't keep up with that kind of speed. The only way that we can actually try and like stop a snake mid jump is to predict it and like watch its movements, be like, okay, it's about to jump, and before it does, start going for it and then grab it. That's the only way humans can intercept a snake mid jump, is to literally predict it. There's no way to like see it coming. Like there's no way to wait for it to start and then jump. No, you're too late every time if you do that. You gotta do it ahead of time. But yeah, pretty sure cats have more damage than that. I looked that up pretty recently. I could be wrong though. But yeah, I do know that it is a thing. Oh, why did I grab the PHP? It's the monster manual I need. Stupid me. I'm gonna run a monster manual. But yeah, it is a known thing that cats are very strong very strong against low-level enemy, against like a level 1 wizard, and like commoners and stuff. I actually talked about this a couple streams back. Let's look it up. Cat. Yeah, you're right. Not much health, only 2 health. But let's see. Attacks. 2 claws. That's weird. I was seeing someone was saying it had like a D6 of damage last time. Let's see, attack melee 1d4, claw 2 claws, plus 4 melee, 1d2 minus 4, and a bite 1d3 minus 4. Finesse. Skills. Weird. Why do people say cats are so strong then? Because I have seen cats as having way more damage. Initiative of +2. That does make sense. Yeah, that's weird. 1d4 minus 3. That's not what I saw, is it? Yeah. I mean, 1d2 minus 4 and 1d3 minus 4. So that's even worse in terms of damage. So yeah, I don't know where you're getting the 1d4 minus 3. Found monster manual. Yeah, I found the monster manual. That 1d4 minus 3 is wrong. I see 1d3 minus 4. Let me see if I can get to the bottom of this. Maybe Google will help. Because I know it was saying that they do more damage. At least that's what somebody said. Yeah, 1d3 minus 4. Weird. Yeah, why does it say that? Cat's part in either part of the. Weird. I don't know where. That's crazy. I honestly don't know. Because I have seen it before. And I am trying to figure out why that's. Was that like a 5e thing that someone's showing? Maybe it was a 5e thing and they're just giving me bad information. I don't know. But I've also seen in 3. I've also had a friend do a campaign where he literally just threw waves of. It was a one-shot campaign, so it wasn't anything serious. But it was literally just he threw waves of cats at us, and to see how long we would survive. Cats are harmless in the game, but that's almost absurd. And it wasn't even a crazy amount. It was just like a d6 of damage or something. But okay, I'm seeing. Okay, I see it now. All right, so that's the reason why. So I don't know why they were saying it was a D6. That's insane. Yeah, the reason why they're saying they can do that is you do a minimum of 1 damage, and yeah, they get 3 attacks, so they can potentially do just 3 damage, which against a level 1 wizard, yeah, that could potentially be pretty deadly. Like, probably not enough to kill from 1 cat, but 2 cats hitting with a full attack, that's probably down a wizard. And your average commoner, not going to have a whole lot of HP. Unlike players who get max HP for first level, your average commoner's not going to have that. So they're going to get a D4, generally just a flat D4, maybe even a D4 minus 1, because their constitution's not going to be great. Yeah, they very well might have an 8 or 9 con. Like their stats aren't like commoner stats aren't as good as like player stats. Yeah, they're literally just going to be rolling. Like if you're making just a random commoner and you want to like roll for their stats for whatever reason, you roll 3d6 and then you just 6 times and you just write it down in order and that's their stats. Like that's how you would do it if you wanted to just like randomly make a commoner. So I don't know. I'm just gonna roll and see what the hell. Well, actually, let's see. On average, let's see 6 and 1, 7 plus. So you're looking at 3. I guess 10 and a half. Yeah, 10.5 for their stats. So yeah, on average, they're going to be getting no bonus to their con. So they're going to be having 1 to 4 HP is how much health your average commoner has. massive damage for a cat is 12.5. Yeah, that's true. Well, actually, no, because of the strength. The actual rolls generally don't matter unless they're getting a strength buff, because they're taking a bigger minus than what the roll actually is. So you're literally just doing one damage, regardless of what you roll on the die. Yeah, 1d2 minus 4. Well, that's going to be a 1, because you're going to get a 1 or a 2, subtract 4, that's going to be negative, even, like, regardless of what you rolled. But you can't do less than 1, so you do 1. Or for their other attack, their bite, 1d3 minus 4. Well, even if you roll a 3 minus 4, that's still negative, so you do 1 damage. So yeah, they just do 1 damage for all their attacks. The only amount that they can do without getting bonuses, like strength bonuses, or if like they have bardic inspiration, that will maybe make them do more damage. But the bardic inspiration, a small amount of bardic inspiration is actually not going to help a cat do any more damage most of the time, because it's going to take it from 1d4 or 1d3 minus 4 to 1d3 minus 1 or minus 2. Maybe if you got a plus 2, you're still only going to do 1 damage, even if you roll max. So yeah, getting bonuses on your damage as a cat probably won't matter unless you get more than a 2, and even then only if you roll high. So yeah, 50 for medium, 25 for small, and 12.5 for tiny. Massive damage for a cat. I thought massive damage was just half their HP. So you're talking about like, massive damage is half of max HP. I don't know where this 50, 25, and 12 is. I could have sworn it was just massive, half max health, which for cats, I guess, would be 1, which isn't much. Well, actually, I think I know what you're talking about now that I think about it. Yeah, because I think it's half or those numbers, whichever's higher. Yeah, I don't know. I don't play massive damage as often as I probably should. So you probably know better than I do. That isn't something, but I know at high levels it is half HP. Because taking 50 damage as a level 20 character, that's not massive damage usually, unless you're a wizard, then maybe. But for a 20th level barbarian, 50 is not massive damage. They can take that. That's nothing. They're going to need to take a lot more than that. But I hear what you're saying. And you're probably right. Not that it matters. Staggered is at half current HP. Sort of. Interesting. Those are things I don't play with as often as I probably should. Usually I go with, until they hit 0, they're fine. And then I go, okay, 0 is that weird spot where like you aren't unconscious. Like 0 is you're like very, very staggered. You're in this weird state where you can only take like half actions, or you'll pass out, or like you'll fall unconscious from taking damage, and like start down the dying process. No, it is. No, what is? But I know 0 is crazy. It's a fun spot, and by fun I mean not good. And then of course -10 is just dead, regardless, which honestly kind of sucks. And honestly, it really it gets weird for high level play, because like at early levels it's like, okay, you hit -10 and now you're dead, and like fine. But when your HP is like, when your max HP is 10-ish, like, the wizard's going to have maybe 6 max HP, whereas, the barbarian maybe has 14 HP or whatever. And So hitting -10, like getting that range between 0 and -10 is very possible. And like that can happen very easily. But once you get to like 20th level and everyone's got like 200 health, it's very rare you're ever dying. You generally just skip from low HP to dead most of the time because you're taking, 30, 40 damage per hit. It's if a halfling takes 28 points of damage and must succeed on a fortitude save to avoid dying. Really, even if they're high level, because that seems crazy to me. Like even if they're high level and have like 200 HP, that honestly seems insane and does not seem right at all. If they're low level and don't have that much, sure, but yeah, that seems weird to me. Where's your source for that? Because yeah, I'm very curious what your source on that is, because that's not a rule I recall. I mean, you very well might be right. Definitely doesn't feel right, especially for high levels. For low levels, sure, but like that is so little, and even 50, like that's nothing for like a 20th level barbarian. And I know there's prestige classes where you can easily fall well below into the like way, way, way into the negatives and can't die from that. It's source, man, source. Because like I hear you and you might be right, but like where are you finding this? That's what I want to know. Because I'm not just going to take your word on it. Like, yeah, you very well might be right, and I'm not going to say you're wrong, but I need a source before I like agree or anything, because that doesn't seem right. But at the same time, I've never played in a game where DMs were really sticklers about that at all. So, yeah, maybe that's just me, but yeah, because like I was like, oh well, 12 is max for player's handbook will tell, find it and search massive damage. Okay, I have the player's handbook, but trying to search this thing without knowing the page number is an absolute nightmare. That's one thing I hate about the PHP is it is so poorly organized. Like back before the days of Google, when I only had like physical books to work with, I would never use the PHP to try and find stuff unless I happen to know the spot to look, because trying to find it in there is insane. You're not going to give me the source, fine. I'm going to grab my rules compendium because that's stupid. The player's handbook is not organized well at all. Trying to find any sort of rule in there it's just damn near impossible. It's not a well organized book, unfortunately, at least for like where rules are. Because yeah, that's why I like the rules compendium, because it actually has things in a place where you can find them. I mean, I couldn't Google it too. That is a thing. Magic items, magic strike, marching orders. Yeah, I'm not seeing massive damage in here. So, yeah, I don't know where you're finding it. PHP 129, you think? See, that is info that's needed. Trying to figure, like, yeah. What? Not even close. PHP 1, really? It's in the, this is where it's at? In the gear? Nah. There's no way that's correct. Thunderstone, Tinder Twig, Alchemist Lab, Artisan's Tools. Yeah, that is definitely not the correct location. So I don't know where it's at. You might be right, but you're not giving me any sort of source, man. Like, it's all good, Snagwolf. Also, appreciate you having me here. I forgot to call out when you showed up, but yeah, good to have you here. Yeah, man, you're talking about this, and that's cool, and you might be right. You very well might be, but you're not citing your sources. You're just saying player's handbook. Like, that is the most Like that is one thing. That is one of the few things. That's the one. That is one thing I really do not like about like I love 3.5. That is one thing that I do not like about this book is the player's handbook is not well organized with rules. It's got like it's got like all your class creation stuff, and it's like it's got this combat section with half the rules, and then like which is like pages upon pages that's just like not really in any order, and then it switches to adventuring, which has some rules, but it also has like some more character creation stuff. But it's mostly character creation. And then you get into Magic, which has more rules. It's just like all over the place. It's so hard to figure out where anything is in that book. So like you're saying, so when you say stuff like, what is it? Player's handbook will tell, find it and search massive damage. Like, yeah, I have the player's handbook right here. How do I search freaking massive damage? Come on, man. Like that's not helpful in the slightest. I need like a page number or like a rough idea of which section it's in, you know? Because you're just kind of saying stuff and like expecting me to just trust you. Like you're like, this is how it works. Source, trust me, bro. That's basically what you're doing, Sven. Like, just saying. That's basically what you're doing. So I'm searching it online, which is tricky because I have like a bajillion ads blocking everything. Good Lord. Alternative threshold levels. Okay. I see what you're saying here, Sven. I'm seeing it. And this is an alternative threshold rule. So yeah, this isn't the standard rule. This is an alternate rule. Yeah, so it's a variant. Alternative save failure results. Alternative threshold levels. The threshold is lower than the normal value. Blah blah blah. Size-based threshold. Variant hurts halfling gnomes. Yeah, looks like it's a variant, and that if you take more than half, that's the rule I've always used. So yeah, if you got a source, Sven, that's cool. Let me know. But I'm looking it up online because index tells about where you got a page number, Sven. Because I've been trying to find this. You have not been helpful at all. You've just been trust me, bro, and me. Hey, Sven. And like I said, I literally just looked it up, and it's literally telling me that no, that's an alternate rule that you're using, and that's not the standard go-to. So, from everything I'm seeing, it's saying that you're wrong. Everywhere AI told me to look was wrong. Oh yeah, AI. I don't trust. Like, I have no issue with AI, but like, I do not trust it in terms of like giving good, accurate information. It's really bad at that. AI is just really good at gaslighting you. AI is just always, yes, I can help you with that. Here's what you do, even if it has no idea. It hallucinates, it makes stuff up, it'll gaslight you to. I've wasted so much time trying to talk with AIs, and just being gaslit drives me so insane. So damage 145 is what it's saying, apparently. Ay. Now you're saying 320, 310. Okay, well, I'll check that here in a sec. I'll check massive damage in from what it's saying in the index. Lost hit points. It's not mentioning massive damage. You're saying 320 and then 310. Okay. Yeah, it's not even a 320. 310. No, 310 is just the index, which has massive damage. Oh, it says that at least 50 points of damage resulting from a single attack. Is there a 320? I might just. That's yeah. There is no 320. There literally is not a page 320. 317 is the last page in the book. All right. Well, I guess there is. Polymorph Subschool. Okay. Just a section on Polymorph Subschool. All right. Didn't even realize that was there. At least 50 points of damage from a single blow. Okay. I see it there, but then massive damage. And here it is in 145. If you ever sustain damage so massive that a single attack deals 50 points of damage or more, and it doesn't kill you outright, you must make a DC 15 fortitude save. If this saving throw fails, you die regardless of your current hit points. This amount of damage represents a single trauma so major that it has a chance to kill even the toughest creature. Take 50 points of damage or more from multiple attacks, no one of which dealt 50 or more hit points of damage itself. The massive damage rule does not apply. Interesting. Okay. Wasn't aware that it was that. I thought it was just half your hit points. Interesting. Okay. I guess you're right on that, but it sure took a while to get there. If a character takes massive damage and fails a fortitude save DC 15, they will die regardless of their HP source. It does show up on Google, yeah. Well, maybe. I did eventually find it in the PHP. It took forever to find, though. Yeah. Sources, man. Like, there's a reason why these things are I do not like. That's one thing I don't like about the freaking player's handbook is trying to find anything in there is a nightmare. That's why I always like before the days of Google, I always relied on the rules compendium because just trying to sort through, trying to find things in the player's handbook was just such a nightmare for just trying to look up rules like that. Staggered is from Unearthed Arcana 113. I have that somewhere, I think. Interesting. But yeah, I don't know. I've always heard it was half health, but fair enough, I guess. It's not something I usually play with personally. And I know there's ways I guess probably should, since I know there are feats that how do you ignore that? I'm pretty sure endurance and die hard. I think that's part of what they do is they just let you ignore those. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure there's feats and stuff. And I think endurance and die hard very well might be those feats, or one of them at least. Because I know die hard at the very least makes it so that you don't die from negative hit points, from dropping negative, from -1 to -9. Fair, appreciate that, Snag Wolf. But yeah, sources on some of these rules are tricky. Player's Handbook is, I do not like the way it's organized. I really genuinely do not like the way that it organizes rules. I love the way that it organizes races and classes and feats. All that's all well and good. What does rules compendium can say about massive damage? I'm not sure, because in terms of this one, when I looked up massive damage in the, it just didn't exist. When I went to the topic index, which is generally what I always use before Google in order to like find anything. Massive damage just isn't listed. It's just not anywhere there. So yeah, never really used the index in the PHP, to be honest, but yeah, which maybe that would have helped, but yeah, I don't know. It was just always hard to find stuff, especially when it came to like turn undead. It's like, crap, what are the rules for turn undead? Where do I find it in the player's handbook? I don't know. Where do I find it in rules compendium? Oh, it's under turn undead. It's just all alphabetical, and you just go turn undead, natural attacks, saving throws, spells, keep going, targeting, getting close. Oh no, spellcraft, targeting is part of that. Track, turning. There we go. Boom, and you just find it, and all the info, and you just get all the info on turning. I don't know. I just found this way better than the player's handbook in terms of like looking stuff up. Because, yeah, trying to find something like, what are the rules for turn undead? Where do you find them in the PHP? I don't freaking know. Where do you find them in the rules compendium? Just it's in order by turning. It's just all alphabetical. Which, yeah, trying to find it in the player's handbook it's tricky. Yeah, I think it's in. Is it adventuring? Nah. It's in what? Chapter 8, combat, I think. Yeah, towards the end. So I kind of know where this one is just because I've looked it up a few times. But, you know, most things are pain to figure out where they're at in the PHP. Yeah, like I found it. Like I kind of knew where it was. But I don't know. It's just easier to find in the rules compendium. At least that's always been my experience, which is why I always use rules compendium to look stuff up. Well, not always, but generally I would look stuff up in the rules compendium just because I could find it a lot faster in the rules compendium. I don't know, just better organized, much better organized system, which is why I swore by it when I was a young up and coming DM back in my early 20s, like the late 2000s. Man, such a long time ago. But yeah, PHP, yeah, I don't know. Indexes aren't things that I've had to use a whole lot. I use them for school, so I know how to use them, but like, yeah, massive damage, page 72 of rules comp. Really? It's in there? Because that one was kind of a tough one to find. Injury, healing, and death. That makes sense. Massive damage. If thing 50 doesn't kill, this save fails. That makes sense. So yeah, I probably would have like eventually found it under injury, healing, and death, which makes sense. Yeah, sometimes you have to do that because it's, you know, small little things don't. I don't know. They don't always trap. Like they're not always the most obvious of place. But yeah, interesting. Good to know that it's 50. Guess I've been doing that wrong. But yeah, very good to know, especially for like my videos and stuff. Because definitely try and go with ROM over any sort of homebrew stuff. Like 9 times out of 10. Like even if I am gonna like say any sort of homebrew stuff, I'll always specify. So good to know. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure, like, I think Die Hard or Endurance or one of them, I think, lets you ignore that on its own. I know there's stuff that lets you ignore it. I don't know where or what stuff exactly off the top of my head, but I do know there are ways to ignore damage from, or death from massive damage. Yeah. Die Hard. Okay. Die Hard doesn't help with that. Does Endurance? Because you would think one of them would, but maybe they don't. It helps with holding your breath, sleep in armor, so that you swim, continue running, constitution to avoid non-lethal damage from a forced march, to avoid non-lethal damage from starvation, damage from environments, fortresses, to resist. Interesting. Huh. I don't know what causes you to resist that, but I suspect there's something somewhere. Apparently, it's not death, die hard, or endurance. Endurance gives a whole bunch of things, but or at least makes it you resist things. But interesting. Let's see. Items, ability scores. Construct on undead, yeah. Critical immunity. Let's see. Well, that one's failed. Change the rules, yeah. Well, I guess being a construct or undead works. May grant bonus to save to avoid death rolls. Yeah. So I guess the only ways I can think, the only ways I'm seeing from a quick Google search to be immune to that is become a construct or undead. That'll work. Those things don't have to worry about that. You can hit a zombie for massive damage and it'll be fine. Same with a golem or something. Yeah, they don't have to. They're not affected by massive damage. It's only living creatures that have to deal with that. Now, granted, living creatures make up 99, or maybe not 99, 97% of all creatures in D&D. Yeah, it's probably about fair. There's not that many constructs and undead. There's a decent amount, right? Gotta give them at least a solid 3% for all that. But, most things are living. All humans, humanoids like dwarves, elves, plants, animals, monsters, the vast majority of most things are living. It's really just specifically undead and constructs. So, yeah, it's pretty rare to. It's somewhat rare for things to be undead or construct, but yeah, they are immune to that. That's just a construct trait and an undead trait. They both have that. And I think being immune to crits may also make you immune to massive damage. Not sure though, but from a quick Google search, it seemed like it might, but I could be wrong. Veil of Undeath's spell comp, page 229, gives you the undead type for the most part. Nice. And undead has its pluses and minuses. Pun not intended, but appreciated. In that, undead, they make it so that positive, they flip the concept of positive and negative energy. There's a cleric spell that will turn someone into a sort of undead, a level 2 spell. Nice. So yeah, that will work. If you can become an undead temporarily or a construct temporarily, that will make you immune to massive damage temporarily. And, if you become permanently undead, I don't know, you become a lich, that's a thing. That'll work to become immune to crits, or to crits, yes, but also to become immune to massive damage. So yeah, liches, they are immune. Is it liches? Lichy? Lichy? I don't know what the plural of lich is. I don't know what the plural of lich is. Yeah, maybe it's liches. But yeah, undead definitely immune to it. But you're right. You are right. Living creatures do have that. But your thing about it changing by size, that is a variant rule. Um, so smaller or larger creatures needing more or less, that is not rules is written exactly. It is rules, but it's a variant rule. So yeah, it's not a standard, but it is something that makes sense, and I guess a lot of players probably would use, or a decent number of DMs might use. Although it is a problem for like halflings and gnomes and stuff like that, and it can be even more of an issue if you want to play even smaller, which a lot of mages and a lot of rogues want to be as small as possible. So yeah, living undeath spell compendium, nice. I don't. That's way over there. I have to get up again if I wanted to check it, but that does sound like a pretty cool spell. You're saying the second level spell, that's not bad. Yeah. So yeah, pretty good spell. But yeah, oftentimes whenever I play like a a lot of the time when I play a rogue, and sometimes when I play a caster, I'll try and be small. As a caster, often as a gnome, gnomes can be very good. As a rogue, usually as a halfling. But I'll often get whatchamajigger, reduce person and permanency cast on myself in order to become even smaller, which can be nice. We've we had a game somewhat recent, in like one of the last game I ran, the cleric was a halfling who had reduced person on him. He was tiny. He was often carried around by other players. Like he would like, ride on people's heads and stuff. Yeah, kind of funny, especially. Oh, he would especially ride on the barbarian's head, who went the opposite route of having enlarged person cast on himself. So he was, generally large, and half the time he would become even bigger. So he was just this huge creature, and here he is, like, and the cleric is just this tiny little guy riding on him. Very funny. The problem with undead with no eyes, they can only see as far as their dark vision allows. Interesting, but not all undead. Like undead often have eyes. Like, depends on what kind of undead you're talking. Like a skeleton, sure, but zombies have eyes. Liches have eyes. A lot of undead have eyes. Skeletons don't. They're like the only ones I can think of offhand that don't have eyes. Even shadows, I think, have eyes. And like wraiths and stuff. I think it's mostly just skeletons. Yeah, mostly just skeletons. And skeletons are kind of weak. Let's be real. They're not strong. Skeletons are very much fodder. Zombies are strong, but they're slow. Whereas skeletons, they're just weak. Although if you're per hit die, they're decent. Zombies generally get like twice as many hit dice as a similar skeleton. So yeah, I've looked into zombies and stuff for like necromancy and stuff. So yeah, fun stuff. But yeah, zombies they're a fun one. Yeah, I don't know. I like undead can be nice. Although my favorite spell is still freaking Summon Monster 1. It's such a useful spell. Just Summon Monster 1, freaking Celestial Monkey. Celestial Monkey, man, they're just such a useful summon. It's just such a useful summon. Because it's a monkey. It can do so many things, and it's like really useful. You think, like, if you're thinking of him in terms of a combatant, okay, no, he's not that great, but I don't think of him as a combatant. I think of him as a monkey. And what can monkeys do? They can drink potions. So if I need to test a potion to see if it's good or not, monkey. If I need to test to see if the door's trapped, monkey. Um, other things that don't have to be a monkey, but I need to get from point A to point B. Summon monkey, benign transposition, do the old switcheroo with the monkey, bada boom, bada bang. Now I'm over there, and I got where I needed to go via the monkey. And yeah, also I need a distraction. Monkey gets summoned. He goes, ooh, makes a big old scene, and boom, I got a distraction. Everyone's watching the monkey now while I can go do my thing. Monkeys are very useful, man. They're very, very useful. So I use some of monkey a lot in the game that I'm in right now. Would be playing tomorrow, but no, we're not playing tomorrow. We got that game's canceled. Small halfling weighs only 8 of 30 weighs 1/8 to 35 pounds or thereabout. Yeah, it's about like 6 pounds or something like that. Who's very small guy. Yeah, and not very tall. Obviously, he was like 1 foot something. He was a little guy. Yeah, the big guys would like the barbarian would usually just carry him around on his back because like easy. Yeah, and like if they're 2 size categories smaller, you can ride on the back of one of your party members without any problem. You got to be 2 size categories for that. It's not going to work well with just 1. So, your regular halfling can't just go piggyback on a human without, causing some restrictions on movement and stuff. It's going to weigh you down. But a tiny character, well, that changes things. They can just ride on top of your head at that point, actually. In fact, I've seen that with a few things. At least normally that's how I play it. But they have to be tiny or smaller. So if you're a wizard, you can have your cat riding on your head. I've seen that before. It's kind of a fun idea. Kind of like Kiba and Akamaru from Naruto. I mean, he's a dog, but he's a puppy. Or I had a player, he had a toad as a familiar. He just had his little toad. I think that guy was actually diminutive, so that worked even better. Yeah, works pretty well. I guess tiny on a medium is a little much for the head, but can easily wrap around the shoulders without any issues, especially if the tiny creature is a humanoid and has arms and stuff. So yeah, diminutive is even better. If there's 3 size categories, that's perfect. You just ride on the head. 4 size categories, you can probably fit them in the pocket at that point. It's like, oh yeah, I'll just throw you in my pocket there. I even thought of a crazy idea for an epic druid. So the epic druid would actually have a barbarian as his familiar. Not familiar. Is his cohort. There we go. There's the word I was looking for. And the cohort would be like this giant barbarian that would have probably be like a knockback build. Using the feet knockback. Meanwhile, this druid could just hide inside the barbarian's armor and just kind of heal him and then throw spells out as he's going. But the druid could just transform into a fly inside this colossal barbarian's armor. And we're talking 10 size categories different at that point. A fly compared to a giant, a colossal dragon, basically. It's not dragon, more of a giant, but this is some insane stuff. Yeah, of course you're not going to and part of it is you wouldn't even know that the druid's there a lot of the time. It'd be hard to notice him because he's just so small. I don't know, just kind of a cool idea I thought of. Have I ever done it? No. Would I like to? Yeah, it'd be fun. It'd be a fun idea to have Just this tiny little fly, literally just hanging out on a freaking giant's shoulder. And, you're likely not going to, think twice about the fly buzzing around because it's a fly. Like, who cares? It's a fly. In the real world, if you see a fly, you're like, that's something you pay attention to a lot of the time. But we're talking like, D&D times. Flies were probably buzzing everywhere. Like, I don't know about like the magical fantasy setting stuff, but if you look at actual medieval times, from all the historical and like archaeological evidence, if you ever go back in time, bring those flies. It stinks. Because it's some stinky times back then. People throwing their feces out in the middle of the streets. It was gross. Like, cities back then were nasty places. So flies would probably be commonplace and something you would probably not think twice of in a D&D game. Like way less so than you would in the modern world today, because we live in a much more hygienic society. But even if you're like the park or something, are you going to think twice about the fly buzzing around? No, that's not going to cross your mind. Even if you're in a world where a fly could be a druid, like, it's unlikely you're going to be paranoid about every single fly. So just some ideas on things that just ideas for 3.5 and stuff. I don't know. I've thought of all sorts of insane builds over the years. My mind goes crazy making build ideas, half of which never get realized. Some of which get turned into videos, some of which don't, because I forget them. Some fun ideas. Let's see. I'm trying to come up with some right now too for future games. Although mostly I'm kind of looking at running a game. Thinking of trying to run one. I don't know who all would be interested in that. I don't know who's all like in the Discord and whatnot. I'm not sure if everybody here is in the Discord, to be honest. I can throw out a link though real quick, just in case anyone's wants to join that isn't already in here. I'm just going to find the link that I have. Dig it up. Invites. There we go. That should work. Hopefully that link works. Message. Hey, cool. I can pin it. Sweet. Hopefully that link works. Let me know if it does. I guess I can check real quick. See if it takes me where I want it to go. Yep. Okay, cool. Looks like it's correct. Sweet. So if anyone wants to join the Discord, that's in there now. I don't know. Anybody got any questions or anything they want to talk about? Shoot, I didn't see this. Snaggle, my bad. I made an NPC hawk dragon, small dragon named Tua, that is a cleric that has a ring with compression, constant effect. hangs out in the backpack and heals. A small dragon Intua that is a cleric that has a ring with compression constant effect. Hangs out in the backpack and heals. Okay. Oh, so he hangs out in someone's backpack. I'm not sure what the ring of compression constant is, but that sounds pretty cool. Just hanging out in the backpack and just healing everybody. Um, that's pretty funny actually. And like, yeah, you can easily make touch attacks against whoever's happening to be carrying the backpack. And assuming you're small enough, you shouldn't be interfering with the guy at all that is carrying it. Assuming there's a big enough size difference between the two of you, and you weigh low enough that you're not causing any real damage, or that your weight is well within his carrying capacity. So yeah. Sorry, my chair was weird. Everything's fine though. Anyway, yeah, that's actually a pretty cool idea. I do like the idea of like healers that just kind of hide. Yeah, it's a fun idea. Often I will play. I often play clerics as DMPCs if no one in the party wants to be one, just because it can really add a lot of value. And just having like a DMPC like heal bot cleric, it has its uses. I don't know, just something I sometimes like to do. It's got its downsides, but yeah. Compression makes you one size category small. Ooh, nice. Nice. Is that like the psionic power like expansion? Because I know expand is a psionic power. And then I know there's also like reduce person and what is it? Reduce person and what's the opposite of reduce person? Damn it. I knew it a second ago. Why am I spacing it? Enlarge person. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. Let me look up compression because that's not something I'm super familiar with. I haven't heard of that one before. There's so much stuff, like knowing everything is like pretty much impossible. A side power, yep, sweet. That's what I figured, because I know expansion is I've looked at expansion, and if it's anything like expansion, it should be able to do 2 potentially. Let's see, augment, yeah. Since 6 additional points, this power decreases by 2 categories. This won't stack with reduce person normally, but you can use the double one to. Yeah, you can do the augment for 6 in order to make it so that it's those does 2 size categories. I think I sent a friend record on Discord, Mitch. You might have somebody sent me one a bit ago. I might have got a couple of them. Yep, looks like you sent me one. I'll accept that real fast. Yeah, so you can't stack compression with reduced person. They're the same type of effect. So yeah, but like if you're small, you could use compression. So like if you're a halfling with compression, you could become diminutive, which is kind of nice. Yeah, you can't use, like if you use compression and reduce person, like you're still just going to be one size category smaller. They won't stack. It does give you both a psionic and a magical shrinking, so that it's hard. Like if they get rid of one, they still the other one. And it makes it so that it's a little bit harder, especially if you're not using the alternative rule of psionics is magic, which usually I personally play with the rule of psionics being magic because it just makes everything way simpler. of just saying, yeah, psionics. It's you got your arcane, you got your divine, and you got your psionics. Boom, it makes things a lot simpler if you simplify psionics into a third category of magic. There's probably more than that, more categories as well, but those are like the three biggest ones, I want to say. I mean, obviously, arcane and divine are the two biggest. But I know there's like other stuff out there, like incarnate and stuff. Like I know that's a thing that gets kind of weird. I've looked into it. It's an odd one. Yeah. But yeah, Magic of Incarnate. I've looked through that book a bit. Still don't fully understand everything in it, but I've looked through it some. Yeah, it's a whole other thing. Yeah. So yeah, there's so much stuff in like 35 in terms of like just like making things like each flat book adds so much, which is part of why with the games that I'm planning to run shortly, it's going to be core only at the start, and then you'll unlock more stuff later, like the player's handbook, part of the world at the start, the monster manual, part of the world at the start, the dungeon master guide, which I don't have at hand, it's way over there, part of the world at the start, rules compendium, part of the world at the start, but you're not going to have anything else at the start. Hidden somewhere in the world is the complete adventurer. If you find it and unlock it, boom, everything in the book suddenly becomes canon. Same with complete warrior, which I happen to have at hand. You find it and unlock it, suddenly everything in it becomes part of the world. And the world will just kind of like suddenly change. And the memories of every non-player in the world will change to match. And I do mean non-player in the most broad sense, which includes past and future players. So basically anyone who is a player will be marked with a mark of destiny, which I'll probably design something, and it's going to be somewhere on your body. I'll let the player pick, be anywhere they want, but try and keep it somewhat appropriate for whatever the game is. You know, if there's kids, don't put anything crazy. If you know it's a more adult game and there's no kids and nobody at the table has an issue with mature stuff, then fine, I don't give a crap. If you want to put it somewhere crazy, but I will note that in order to unlock it, you must put the mark on the book and make contact with the skin of the mark to the seal, and that will cause it to unlock. So you put it on your butt cheek, you're going to have to drop trow and stick your butt against the seal. So just keep that in mind. You want to put it on your face, it's a big old face tattoo, cool, you got to stick your face against it. Put it on the back of your hand, easy. The palm of your hand, actually probably easier, although a little weird having it there, but yeah. You do the same with Sai. Yeah, it makes sense. So yeah, that's the game that I'm planning on running. I don't know if anyone is interested. Hit me up on Discord if you are, because that is something I'm thinking of doing. It would be a paid game, probably like, I don't know, $20 a session. So yeah, if you're not interested, understand. Like, I get it. I don't expect anyone to like be into it. I'm not really shilling that much for it, but yeah, that's just a game that I'm probably going to run soon. I'm also planning on running another game. This one wouldn't be paid. The other one that I'm thinking of running, I don't know what the campaign is yet. I have to come up with that. Might be in the same world, might be completely different. But this one would be one that would be streamed on Twitch. The requirements for joining it, you don't have to pay anything, but you do have to agree to be on webcam and mic during the game, and to allow me to stream you on webcam and mic to my Twitch audience, for my profit. Not going to be much. I don't make jack crap on Twitch, but yeah, that's the requirement for joining the Twitch game is you're going to have to agree to join and be on mic and cam, and for me to be able to profit off of your likeness. those are the requirements. If you're not down, you're not down, and I don't expect people to be down. So that's kind of where that stands. Yeah, at some point, would I consider running a game that's just free for people? Sure, but that's more for like friends and stuff. Yeah, like in terms of like for people that I don't know like personally. Yeah, there's probably going to be some trade off, but uh, as it is what it is. But I'm smaller. I'm a smaller streamer. It's not that it's hard to become friends with me. Like at this point, if once I have like way more subs, yeah, probably it'll be harder. Maybe I don't know. But right now, I'm just kind of a dude. Not really that famous. A little bit, but not really. So, yeah. Like slightly. I mean, I got you guys hanging out in chat with me, but like my level of fame is really small, and I'm not stupid enough to think otherwise. But yeah, if you're interested in any of those games, let me know. So that's what I've got planned in terms of running games. If you have a game you want to run, I'm down to be a player. Like I'm always looking to playing more games. But yeah, yeah. Especially if you got like other TTRPG systems, because I don't have as much experience with those as I would like. I've got some with Roll20, but only the free version. I haven't touched it in a long time. I do not have a camera for my computer. Fair enough, Sven. Like I say, I don't expect anybody to actually join these games. Like, I don't know if I got enough clout to start the game, which is part of why I haven't really pushed it too much. I don't know if I got enough clout where I can like have people showing up that are willing to show up for a game every week and be on camera on my Twitch stream. Not in exchange for nothing, like in exchange for the privilege of getting to be on my stream and to play games with me, like not offering much, I'm aware that it's not that big of a privilege. So like I said, I don't know if I have enough clout to actually be able to pull that one off. It's something I'd like to do at some point, but yeah, whether I have enough clout really depends on, well, if I can find 4 people that can agree to do it for the love of the game, for the pure privilege of just for the privilege of being able to play a game with me, or just the fun of being able to play a game with me. Like I don't know if I got that kind of clout. I ain't that special. Like I know if freaking what's his name, Brendan, like if Brendan Lee Mulligan or Matthew Mercer were like, hey, you can be part of my game. All you got to do is like show up and like be on camera and like let me use your likeness. They'd get that easily. They'd have people fighting for the privilege of being in a game with them. Me, nah. I definitely ain't getting people fighting for the privilege. I'd be lucky to get people willing to show up. I have an in-person game I play every Sunday. I think I'm close to being a boomer for online play. Fair enough. Fair enough. Probably more of a Gen X is my guess. Most of my audience is Gen X from what I've noticed. Yeah, Gen X, a few Zennials, I think. But mostly Gen X. Not too many boomers in my audience. But yeah, a lot of Gen X. At least it's like actively showing up to my chat. Like most people that are showing up to my chat and are like in a lot of the people in my comments, a lot of Gen X. I'm a millennial, so y'all are older than me. Not like terribly much, but like you're younger than my dad. You're in that in-between generation, which is kind of a forgotten generation. There ain't that many of you. Like literally, there's not as many people in your generation as there are the ones before and after. It's very much an in-between generation. But anyways, yeah, that's most of my audience here. I think a lot of my audience, in terms of like the casual viewership, actually is a lot of Gen Z. Actually, me, millennial, technically also Gen Y. We just never say Gen Y. We got that cool name of millennial. Why? I don't know. I guess I guess Gen X just isn't cool enough for a cool name. I don't know. I don't know why Gen X doesn't have a fancy name, but y'all don't. At least not that I'm aware of. Yeah, and then like even Gen Z is the Zoomer, which is just a play on, which is both a play on the Boomer, but with just the Z for Gen Z, and also they're the Zoom generation. They're the guys that most of them did high school or college on Zoom. So because COVID, that's their generation. Not all the older ones kind of missed that, but yeah, just generation stuff. But I did manage to join your Discord. Nice. Yeah, and I mean Discord's not too complicated of a thing, but yeah, I'm 38. I'm younger than most people that are here. But yeah, most of the people that watch the videos are a bit younger, which is awesome. Personally, I really love that. Wow, I'm getting the younger crowd on there because they're the ones that are going to grow the game. There's not many like Gen X guys like you've been playing for forever for the most part, or you played it a long time ago and are interested in coming back to it. There isn't really any sizable group of like Gen X or even millennials like me that are like, you know what? I've never played D&D 3.5 before. Let's try it. That's not really a thing, for my generation. I mean, more so than Gen X, but Gen X, you guys have been playing for forever for the most part. The new blood, that's the Gen Zs and those Gen Alphas. Not that I don't, not that like I'm completely hating on them, but I'm a little too old to fully comprehend a lot of Gen Alpha stuff. Oh, there's Skibbity Toilet, Ohio, Riz 6-7 crap. It's very difficult for me to comprehend. I suspect you guys probably relate. Charlotte Gen X. Yeah. But Gen Alphas, they're not really what I'm catering things to. Financially, they're not the best to go after either because they're all still in high school, and they're not bringing much money in terms of like their views aren't worth that much. On top of that, there's more legal restrictions since they're under 18. Like, targeting people between 13 and 18 is trickier in terms of like content creation. So yeah, you got to be a little more careful. Not too much more careful, but you got to be a little more careful about, the kind of stuff that you put on your channel. Not too many swear words and all that fun stuff. Targeting to adults that doesn't matter as much. It still sort of does because like advertisers don't like it, but I don't know. Basically, it's a whole thing. And with YouTube, I mean, you can target even younger, but I definitely don't do that because my stuff is highly technical, and I don't think many people under 13 would be able to really understand to D&D 3.5 to any degree. It's just way too technical for someone that young. You really need to be at least a teenager, probably an adult, to really appreciate a game like 3.5. You just really do. It's not for the underage crowd. Plus, there's definitely some stuff that's slightly not great. Yeah, there's definitely some slightly adult images that I remember seeing when I first picked up the book. Good old 17-year-old me picking up this book as a kid, being like, oh my God, look at the Dryad. Yeah. Good times. Good times. Because, yeah, there's a few pictures in here that are not entirely safe for work. The Dryad being the one I remember the best, at least out of the Monster Manual. Not really anything in PHP or DMG, but Book of Vile Darkness had some stuff. That had like the succubus and stuff. But yeah, like I say, this game's not like, I don't know. I do generally run my games pretty PG-13. Sometimes I'll run them, R, but I generally don't go beyond R. Maybe pushing slightly into the X range, but only slightly because I don't really care to go beyond that for a D&D game. Yeah, stick with the R of, all right, we're going to say what happened, and then we're going to cut away to the end of it, to when that's all done, just like in an R-rated movie. You see this shit going down, and whoop, let's move on. That's generally how I run things. Not even all that far. Sometimes it's straight PG. I'm very capable of running very clean games and also going crazy into stuff as well. I'm flexible. But yeah, let's see some spell names that would trigger people nowadays in 3.5. Yeah, like Mind Rape. Yeah, that is a spell in 3.5. It's a very nasty spell out of Book of Vile Darkness. It's it's a nasty one. Completely changed. Let's see if I remember. It is kind of tricky to hit. It does allow spell resistance and a will save, but if you manage to actually hit someone with it, it's just an amazing spell. First, you learn every one of their memories. You can just read all their memories. Amazing for intel gathering. That's insane. Second, you can then manipulate their memories however you want. So you can add, replace, subtract, whatever you want with their memories. You can change their memories to be whatever you want them to be. And you can change their alignment to whatever you want it to be, which is insane. Because now, not only did you learn everything that can be learned from them, you also just completely changed their personality to whatever you wanted. Well, maybe not their personality per se, but their memories. So like their motives, what drives them, like their alignment, you can change. Like that is such a huge thing. Like, yeah, so you know how you were coming after my organization because we killed your family? And your friends are, like all these guys that you're here with are like your friends that have like helped you through thick and thin. Yeah, I've switched your memories. So now, as far as you know, all these guys that were your friends like 2 seconds ago, they're the ones that killed your family. And we're the ones that have had your back through thick and thin. Also, you're lawful evil now. You're not lawful good anymore. And I also happen to know all your secrets in like every one of your memories. Like that is such an amazing spell. Like, holy crap, is that powerful? Like hit a player character with that. Like have the big bad hit a player. Ooh, that can be fun. Make sure the player is chill about it though, because players can get a little bit not happy about having their having their character messed with like that. Some will be able to just roll with it and be like, yeah, cool, all right. So I'm a bad guy now. But because like you still keep your personality and like the essence of who you are, your memories are just different. So like, you're still gonna have a lot of your weird quirks and all that stuff. You're just kind of switch sides. So yeah. Let's see. If you change the alignment of a paladin, they will lose class features. Often, yes. If they change alignment, I'm not sure if the alignment change. Well, actually, no. The alignment change itself would cause them to lose it. They would need to atone, I don't think, as long as they don't act on it. But they would have to change back. There is also the option of changing to a different, like retraining to a different type of paladin to gain, different class features. So that's also an option. But that often will take time. So that's a whole thing. So you are right about that. Atonement is a thing to help work with that as well. You got to get some sleep. Have a good night, everyone. Yeah, have a good one, Snagwolf. Hope to see you in the next one. Good hanging out with you. Only got a little while, about half an hour left on this. So, yeah, we're here for till close to the end. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know. My favorite, but yeah, have a good one, Snagwolf. Hope you sleep well. Um, but yeah, I don't know. In terms of games, I don't know. I like a lot of different games. Like I'm completely cool with running a G-rated game with kids. Like that's fine. Like I know a lot of my like I said, a lot of you guys are Gen X. I'm sure a lot of you have children. I'm sure a decent number of you have small children who are like in grade school. You know, I'm down to play a game with grade school kids if that's what like people are wanting to do. Like if they want to have a game with their 10-year-old kid, yeah, I'm down for a G-rated game. That could be fun. Like I've done stuff like that before. Well, not much, but it'd be fine. I have no problem with it. But I'm also down for a game that no kids allowed, where it's very much not G-rated. Like it's very much R-rated. But I wouldn't go to X though. That's just weird. And I definitely would not do that online because I don't really want to stream on Kick, and they're like the only platform that would be chill with that. So yeah, definitely not going to be streaming on Twitch with like any sort of like X-rated things. Kick, yeah, I could 100%. Like as long as I'm not doing anything X-rated, fine. Like I could like do X-rated role play on there. I don't think Kick would care, but sure as heck not going to do that on YouTube or Twitch. So yeah, but yeah, and also would absolutely not do that if there were kids involved at all. Like that's fucked. Uh, yeah, but yeah, I'm chill. Like I'm whatever. I'm a dude. Like, but I don't know. I prefer more in like the PG-13 range. It's more fun that way. But yeah, I don't know about you guys. I don't know what kind of games y'all are interested in. Like, if you guys have any games you're running, yeah, hit me up. Um, Always down to join a game, especially if it's 3.5. Less so if it's 5e or even Pathfinder. I'm a little iffy on just because I haven't played it as much. I know it's 3.75. Like it's not that different than 3.5, but it's different enough that it throws me a little bit and makes it's just a little hard for me to adapt. But I can do it. But yeah, just bear that. Just keep that in mind if it's a Pathfinder game, that you're gonna have to bear with me a little bit because I'm not as familiar with it, and it is going to be a bit of a challenge for me. Like not that much, but enough. So I'm off, Mitch, later. Yeah, have a good one, Sven. It's been good hanging out with you. Yeah, hope you have a good one. Still got a few more minutes on this, but not too much. Time flies when we got a good chat going. Uh, it's way better when there's a nice chat. I'm not going to lie. So much more fun. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. What's my... I just grabbed the monster manual, so I'm just like thinking. I'm like, well, out of all of the monsters in here, which one have I played the most and would be most likely to play again? It's the orc, obviously. Oh yeah, I forgot the harpy. That's another one of those NSFW picks in there. Not too surprising. But yeah, the orc, it's a nice, it's a good one. Oh yeah, the nymph. Yeah, I think I mentioned that. I'm just trying to look up orc, and I'm getting I'm going past all of the fun ones. Anywho, yeah, our orc boy there. It's a good one. I mean, it's not even that much of a stretch to play an orc. Like half orc is already in the player's handbook. So like to play a full orc, it's like, okay, it's just more orc. And there's no since it's since it has a level adjustment of 0, it doesn't have any hit dice. Like really, like you can absolutely play as a full orc without any sort of penalty whatsoever. Just an extra in terms of half orc versus orc. You get an extra +2 to strength in addition to the +2 you already got in exchange for a -2 to wisdom. And then let's see, I think you get more dark vision, I think. And then of course you have light sensitivity. That one kind of sucks. Yeah, but they're really not that much worse in terms of like mechanics than a half orc. Like they're almost the same. You're generally better off as a full orc than a half orc for the most part. The real downside of the orc is light sensitivity, which genuinely sucks. And then also there's the problem of just racism. A lot of people don't like orcs, and it can just be real hard to exist as an orc, even more so than as a half orc. A lot of people will at least kind of accept a half orc because they're like, all right, he's just a half orc, fine. But a full-on orc, people are a lot less accepting of a full-on orc. So just a thing to keep out there. I know apparently no one's watching now, but I'm still chatting. In case anyone's watching the VOD later or whatever. Or if someone shows up. But yeah. Sucks when there's no chat. It sucks when everyone heads off, but I get it. I stream pretty late. I probably should have started these earlier. It is what it is. It's kind of on me. So yeah, got another 24 minutes. And I'm not going to end early because, like I say, this is for you guys. So if anyone does show up, like, I don't want to be the jerk who ended early. So yeah. So I will stick it out for a few more minutes. Let's see. What have we got planned for the channel coming forward? So in terms of what we might have planned for the channel, more feats. That's coming soon. That's just something that's always in the work. I try and do one every day. Doesn't always happen. Sometimes I'm just really tired that day, or I got a lot going on. So, I don't always get them out, but I try and do one every day. It's like kind of like my first priority in terms of like getting stuff done. I guess the next week's going to be Extend Rage. Okay. Interesting. It's not amazing, but I guess it's got its uses. Just gives you 5 more rounds. And even the book realizes it's not that great because it lets you take it multiple times and lets it stack. So yeah, you can just take this feat like every 3 levels and have it go 5 more rounds if you want. And that's not broken. You get a really long rage, but yeah, and I guess it works for Frenzy as well, but still not that great. And yeah, what else was it I'm working on? Complete Adventure. I'm going through that, doing prestige classes. So that's another thing I'm working on going forward. When I have a little bit more time, that's like the second thing I start working on. Although it takes a lot more time to do stuff for making a full-length video on a class or a prestige class. Okay, I think we talked about this before. The Street Fighter is going to be the next one. Haven't actually started it yet, but it is next on my list. Working a little on my video on my teaching my girlfriend, or now ex-girlfriend, how to play D&D 3.5. So that's a video that's coming out at some point. Once I get some more work on it, and at that thing for years, which is why it's been like 2.5 years since I filmed that video. It's going to be a little while longer before I finish it. So yeah, it took a lot of work. I put a lot of time and energy into it, mostly just on steadying the face cam, because like I wander back and forth, and then then I have a face cam and it's just tracking that, which I did manually. Took forever. I'm already done with it, so using any sort of like AI to do it, and at this point would be meaningless since I literally already did it manually. But I do have another video that I'm I've started working. I don't get on this one that consistently because it's only when I really like have time to really put in a lot of work that day. But if I do have a really productive day, I start working on remaking my old videos. And I have started on that a little bit. I haven't got too much into it yet, but have started on it, working on the human. So that's a video you can expect to see at some point in the hopefully not too distant future. So maybe in the next like month or two. So yeah, you might see a video on the human. I already did one on the human a long time ago, like 13 years ago or some crap. Like it was forever ago that I've done it at this point. But video on the human coming soon in much higher quality. After I make that, I might even make a video where I react to the old video. And yeah, that might also be a video that I'll do because I don't know, it seems like an interesting idea to make videos reacting to my old stuff that I haven't like seen in years that I made forever ago when I was, still figuring out what the heck I was doing with YouTube and still only sort of knew what I know. Still only sort of knew D&D 3.5. Like I thought I was an expert at it, but compared to what I know now, no, I knew nothing compared to like my knowledge now is so much more extensive than it was when I started this channel. And personally, I'm really happy about that because, hey, I've learned a lot and, that's, just made me better at 3.5. And yeah, that's been pretty cool growth in my opinion. So yeah, but yeah, that's something that's coming. More 3.5 stuff. Will I do some other stuff in the future? Maybe. I don't know. Kind of depends. I don't have any plans for non 3.5 stuff other than like, on Twitch going on there and going on Twitch and making a series where I talk about where I play Baldur's Gate 3 probably, or at some point maybe start a game on Twitch. Yeah, maybe I should put maybe I should put like a thing in my Discord for like for games that I could potentially run, like because like I was talking about, there's 2 games that I'm thinking of running. One which would be pay to play, $20 a session per person, which I understand is like the going rate. Actually, I think that's cheap. I've heard that people are charging 25 now or something. I'll probably just stick with 20. It's an even number, at least to start. And then the other game, which will be a Twitch game. So, yeah, where I just play on Twitch. It'll be kind of like this, but with like a better setup. This is just straight webcam. On Twitch, I'm able to like use my stream key with my streaming software, so it's a better experience. It'll be more cropped. There won't be near as much of this junk in the background. Yeah, and then I'll have like the board, and it'll probably just be me in the corner. I don't know, probably a top corner, and then like all the players along the bottom, and then like a map. So you guys can't see my mouse, but like, yeah. So it'll like have me in like the top corner, and then like all the players along the bottom, and then like in the middle it'll show like the game board. So that's kind of my idea. Just kind of the standard stuff, probably similar to what a lot of other D&D streamers do. When I do it, I have no idea. Will it be soon? I have no idea. It'd be cool if we did it soon, but it might be several years in the future before I'm able to get that going. The paid game, hopefully, is soon. Yeah, and the paid game, open to all, don't need a webcam, don't need anything. Honestly, just need $20 a week. It's a fair amount of money. So, but yeah, anybody who's willing to pay that would be able to join. Only restrictions would be like, if you're kind of being an a-hole, then I might kick you. But aside from that, like, yeah, the paid game would be pretty much open to anybody. Yeah. Whereas the Discord, whereas the Twitch game would be that would be kind of a closed game. It'd be only for people who are willing to like put their webcams up, and I would be a lot stricter about like who I allowed on. Like, you'd have to be pretty chill and like, I don't know, just cool to just cool to play with. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, if you're kind of being a problem, I would kick you a lot sooner on that, just because, part of the Twitch streams, you don't want bad energy bringing the stream down. But yeah, just things that I'm thinking of doing in the future. No obligations on anyone's part on anything. I don't have any real expectations. But yeah, I'll probably start organizing that in the Discord. Again, like I said, making more content. Probably going to be that extend rage feed short dropping in like, I don't know, next couple hours probably. Might be a little longer that, but should be dropping today. Literally have not started it, but it's like 5-minute process from starting it to posting it. I could probably literally make it and record it. I could probably make it and record it like live. The only problem is I do it over in that corner and you can't really see me there. And if I don't do it in that corner, then the background's off. That's like, I don't know how entertaining it'd be to watch me make a short real fast. So I'm not going to do that. But yeah, if you guys actually wanted it, I might be able to show that. But yeah, I guess I can move my webcam to show it if necessary, but that wouldn't be that hard. Yeah. Again, this is the 7th of our 9 live streams for 2,500 subscribers. So that's pretty awesome. And definitely thank you guys for helping me get to this milestone. I could not have done it without you guys. So that genuinely means a lot to me. So yeah, we will be doing a couple more, not many. We only have 2 more of these. We have one Friday, so in 2 days, we will be doing a stream at same time, so 6:30 to 9 PST. So if you want to hang out then, definitely going to be here at the same time. So a few more minutes, yeah, and then we have Mondays. And then after Mondays, that's it for these streams until we hit 5,000 subscribers, which could be a while. It really depends on, how fast people subscribe. If we're getting people subscribing quickly, then, it won't be as long. And I know I have a big part in that with like how fast how much content I'm putting out and everything. That definitely affects how fast the channel grows. So, if I'm making more stuff and, doing more things, I know that'll help. So yeah, that's definitely something we're thinking of doing. But yeah, we're at 2,500. We still got a ways to go before we hit the next milestone of 5,000. But very much appreciate getting to 2,500. So thank you guys so much for that. That really does mean a lot. Yeah. And again, like I say, we're going to keep at it. I'm going to keep making shorts, keep making videos, trying to catch up on comments. I'm way behind, but I'm going to try and catch up and reply to every single comment. That's the goal, at least. We'll see how long it takes me to do that, because I've got a pretty good backlog of comments that need replied to. So that is definitely something I'm going to work on. I know doing that actually helps the channel a ton, which is why I really should do it. Helps in so many different ways. One, it just boosts my engagement in the algorithm, but 2, you guys people like when you reply to their comments, and that makes people more likely to come back. like I know firsthand that like, yeah, when people reply to my comments and like them and stuff, I appreciate that. So yeah, but yeah, that's another thing that working on. Um, just trying to keep up with stuff while also trying to deal with life and yeah, learning more and more about 3.5 every day, and yeah, hopefully I don't get too burned out. I know I do that does happen. I have other interests besides 3.5, and other interests don't tend to do well on the channel, which kind of sucks. Just part of the reason for burnout. That and the fact that I barely get paid for this. Like I do get paid, and that's awesome, but like, and it ain't enough. it ain't a living, not even close. It's like 1% of a living, which is something, but it ain't enough to really, yeah, uh, it doesn't make it anywhere near worth the investment. It really is for the love of the game is why I'm doing it, and for to try and grow things so that it does at some point become worth the time I'm putting in. Because yeah, that's just YouTube. That's unfortunately how YouTube works. And just content creation in general, probably more than most people care to know about. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to maintain a live stream when you got 0 viewers. Not gonna lie. So yeah, this last 20 minutes has been a little bit painful because of that. But I try. I genuinely am trying. It's just not the easiest thing. But anyways, humans, it's a fun one. It's a great one. Honestly, probably the best race in the game. Let's be real. Not to be like racist and human supremacist as a human, but like, I mean, humans are just genuinely good in D&D. And I mean, like in real life too, like humans kind of dominate over other animals. Yeah, I mean, we don't have fantasy races like elves and stuff, but yeah, humans definitely got a lot of things. That's definitely far superior to other animals in like a lot of ways that count. Yeah, and then yeah, at some point I'm going to be going over like classes and stuff too. Like probably just do all of them in order alphabetically, starting with the barbarian, work my way through it. Yeah, might take a while to get through all of it, but that's sort of the point. And then I'll probably go through like the DMG at the very least. In terms of like remakes, I don't know how far I'll remake videos. Like I don't know like what all books I'll remake. I know the Player's Handbook and DMG for sure, but I don't know about anything else. Probably redo my alignment videos as well. That's Player's Handbook, and I mean there's only 9, and there's no expansions on it. There's just the 9 alignments, so that will likely be something that's done in the future. But like I say, we'll see. It's this channel is very much it's a work in progress. It's I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm figuring stuff out slowly but surely. And yeah, I'd like to think my the quality of my content's getting better. I know it still needs work. Like I think I got a lot of feedback on my last video that I dropped that the background music was too loud. So all right, that's actually a super easy fix. But good to know that it's too loud and that I could, and to change that from going forward. Like literally, that's such an easy fix. I just wasn't aware it was too loud. But now that I know, real easy to change going forward. Yeah, I think I had it at -20 is the volume. So I guess I just put it at -25. Hopefully that's enough to lower it to make it better. So yeah, it's literally a 2-second thing to get to lower the volume, but hitting the right levels tricky. Now, there's other things that are tricky, like getting my audio good and making sure it's crisp and clear and doesn't have like weird distortions and stuff. That can be tricky because I got like my fan, like I got the AC going. That can like throw off the audio, especially when I'm doing other scenes. When I'm doing the scenes here at my desk, especially when it's like to this camera with this actual like somewhat professional mic. Yeah, that actually I generally don't have too much audio issues, but if you see me at like this desk but from like an angle over there, that's because I'm using my phone here, and yeah, that's going to cause that's going to cause the audio to be a little less good and slightly problematic. So yeah, so most of my other scenes are shot with my phone, and I lost my lapel mic. Don't know what happened to that. It's around here somewhere probably, but I don't know where it's at. So that kind of sucks, although it only affects a couple of my videos. Yeah, because it's not the longest cord in the world, so it would be a little bit tricky to make work, but it would it would probably help with a lot of sections. But yeah, each section, just on my toe. Yeah, each section's a little bit different. So yeah, and yes, I know I'm rambling. I say 26 minutes of no one being in chat, kind of a little bit rough, but it is what it is. Pushing through, hoping to get finished. Yeah, I'm going to wait till the end. We got another 4 minutes, I guess 3.5, and then we'll end things. Been sort of wrapping things up already, but yeah, yeah. If I could find that lapel mic, that'd probably help a ton in terms of like increasing the quality. But I have no idea what happened to that thing, so kind of a problem. But it is what it is. I'll figure something out at some point. Yeah, so just kind of trying to deal with audio issues. The video's not too bad, but the phone mic, it's not bad, but it picks up a lot of background noise. I live in kind of a small apartment, which does kind of cause some issues with that. But yeah. Anyways, again, thank you guys so much for helping me get 2,500 subscribers. Really does mean a lot. Could not do this without you. It really is. It really is all thanks to you guys that I'm able to, have all the subscribers that I do, and because like you're the ones hitting the button, and like, yeah, this YouTube channel, like, it's because of you that it exists. Like, if it wasn't for people like you subscribing and watching and supporting, yeah, I wouldn't be where I'm at, and it does mean a lot to me, which is why I do these live streams. We still got 2 more going forward for this particular milestone. I'll do more for milestones in the future. I plan to continue doing live streams with every milestone we hit. The next one being 5,000. Hopefully we'll hit it soon. That'd be really cool. If we don't, we don't. But that'd be awesome if we hit 5,000 soon. But yeah, again, we still have the stream Friday. We have the stream Monday. And then be done with streams for this particular milestone. But I'll still be making content, of course. Got that video on, or that short on Extra Rage coming out soon. Gonna have this video on Street Fighter coming out probably sometime after I'm done with my live streams. Almost certainly. I don't think I can get it done in a week, but yeah, within the next couple weeks, hopefully I can get it out. We'll see how busy I am and like just how my energy levels are looking. So we'll see how that's all working. Probably going to start streaming Baldur's Gate next week. I'm probably going to try and do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, starting next Wednesday. So that'll be something fun to try. And yeah, that's kind of the plan going forward. We have more videos. Going to start remaking videos soon from the old stuff because they're just really low quality, and because I made them like years ago, and like this is core stuff. I really should have better quality stuff for them. So yeah, but that's really all I have for this stream. Kind of, I hit the 2.5, and there's nobody here, so I'm not going to push any further. But anyways, as always, I'm Mitch. I'll be seeing you.